there's a collection of things that I'm proud of, and it's one where sport teaches you a lot. It teaches you that self-discipline. It teaches you to constantly move forward and not give up. But for me, it's the achievements that I've had along the way. So like getting to Tokyo, even going to the World Championships, that wasn't even expected. So I've overachieved in that aspect, but getting the British records and breaking the ones that have stood for years and been the fastest S4 that Britain's ever had. But also out of my sporting career, it's the other achievements, so like becoming an Olympic torchbearer in 2012, inspiring young kids, going into schools, doing talks. And it's just one of those where it doesn't end, and you might think, oh yeah, I learn a lot with sport, but you're also helping others come a long way as well. And it's shown the people in the younger ranks that they can do exactly the same if they put the mind to it. And I always say, if you've got the discipline, yes, 5% of it is motivation, but 95% is the discipline part. I've done 12 years in sport. I know I'd went from 2009 to 2016. And then obviously I came back end of 2019, went to games in Tokyo, went to World Championships in Madeira, and yeah, I just thought I'll stick it out till Paris and see where we go from there. And I thought, you know what, I could potentially go for another 4 years, but obviously having a little one, having other career aspects in life and other challenges that I want to pursue, I thought, you know what, now's the time to step away. I've done what I wanted to achieve. And now I thought, you know what, I'm gonna accept a new challenge and move forward. So yeah, if I look at the whole team, what I've had from 2009 to 2016 and then coming back to the sport, there isn't one person now who has not helped me get to the top. And I think for me now, if I was to tell the younger guys coming through, just listen and take everything in and apply that knowledge the best you can from the professionals that have been in the sport a long time. I think one of the biggest moments what will always stick with me, and yes, the torch will always be a big moment. And the three key moments what I tell anyone, and even doing talks for schools now, is I always say, yes, the Olympic torch is up there. Yes, getting to the Paralympic Games is an amazing achievement and making the final, which I wasn't expected to do, which was incredible. But even if I look back now to 2012 when I did trials and just stepping out into a venue where you're the only swimmer in the SM4 classification that's going to race the 150 medley, and you've got thousands of people watching you, whether that's in the stadium or like on telly, YouTube, wherever it's at, that was just absolutely electric. And even when I stepped out in Tokyo for my first race, yes, I was absolutely bricking it, I'm not gonna lie. But it was that moment where I just said to myself that just treat this like a normal competition. And once I got that first race out the way, it was kind of like, yeah, I'm in my element, and I just enjoyed every minute. I know it was different because of COVID, and I completely understand that, but at the same time, a games is a games, and you've still got to treat it like it's it's the same competition as what you go to every other day. Yes, you've made it to the top. Even stepping out into that final, I'll never forget it because it was like you weren't expected to be here, but you are here because you deserve to be here because you've put in all the hard work and effort. And I still went faster in the final than the heat. So yeah, it was every moment in. I tell the kids this all the time in schools and even corporate events now. It's like every moment throughout your life, that journey that you go on, when you stand behind that block and put your goggles on and put your hat on, you sit there and think, do you know what? It all pays off. Yes, there's been days where you're like, I really can't be bothered to do it. But as soon as you get up and go training and you stand behind that block at a major comp, whether it's international or national, you know to yourself that this is all paid off. Absolutely. And there's no better feeling. Yes, it's tough when you're in a category by yourself in Britain, or you've got just one or two of you that's racing in that class, or you could even have more, depending on the classification, what you have in Britain. But when you have all your competitors across the world, and you probably get one, two, or maybe it's even three competitions a year, what you might be able to compete against them, you just treasure all the moments that come along with it, and you say to yourself, "Yeah, I'm competing against the world's best." setting those goals along the way and even just getting to that top level, I sit and think, do you know what? Yes, don't get me wrong, it would have been nice to be on the podium someday, but you have to be realistic. And I will never forget the days, and even just training with some of the top guys, it's an amazing experience that you can't forget. But even though you go and race against them, you might be the enemy in the pool. But as soon as you get into swim down, you're all laughing and joking, and everyone starts just talking to one another. So yeah, every moment that you get with your international competitors is a moment what you should always remember. If I was going back right now to tell myself that, do you know what, it is going to happen, it's trying to get out of your head that instant gratification. And I think as a young kid, you always want something now. And the best thing what I've learned, and I think this is with just getting older and learning more with sport, is that delayed gratification process. And it's just making sure that you know it's going to come, but it's telling yourself, like, just be patient, just be patient. Like, you look at all the top guys at the minute that are going out to the Paralympics, they're going out even to the Olympic Games. It takes years for even to sometimes make your debut, but you still have to work at it. You can't just give up at the first hurdle. So, yes, you'll have setbacks, yes, you'll have failures, but learn from them failures and just apply that knowledge and go again. And then if you learn again, you apply it. So always come away from that competition with one thing and just say, what can I do differently from this competition that I can do at the next one? And I think it's the best thing that I've learned. So yeah, that's what I would go back now and tell my younger self that if I looked forward 10 years, this is what's going to happen. I'd be like, okay, I'd stick at the process. So yeah, it's vitally important that you do just enjoy the journey, not the final destination. The final destination is important, but it's that the journey what you go on is so crucial.